Okay, I'm standing at Dawson Forrest Road, and this is the culvert pipe that comes underneath Dawson Forrest Road. And as you can see, as it comes through, you can see basically clear water coming through, going over the little drop thing. And you can see here where it is clear again, and it's going down this little creek. It's going down. It's going down. It is continued going down. Now we're kind of getting over to the area that you can see this mud that is come down off of the construction sites. And you can see now as we go up a little bit, you can see where the clear water, where this pile of leaves and everything are starting on the other side of that. You can see all the sand that has been washing in. You can see there is a washout area big time over here. Basically everything that's come down through here is going into that creek. I'm not sure if I can get on to the other sides over there or not from this particular location, but I mean, if you want to look, I mean, this is definitely an active construction site. And I'm going to pause it for a minute. I've moved to the top of the hill. This is kind of like a bigger view of what I was just looking at. Now you can see the creek going down. You can see where there's a line going across the creek with some rocks underneath it, and you can notice that there's a point where everything's just muddy. And if you look at the creek further on down, you'll see the split trees on the right. That is part of the main creek. You can see where that is muddy water going through there now. I'm going to try and get onto the other side of this. There's woods. I'm going to go over to the bank, and I'm going to try and get down to that creek again. And I want to see, you know, what's being done beyond that and how the water looks. I'm going to put it on hold again. Again, just to give you a concept of the dirt that's being run off. There's a lot of it. I mean, you can see on the sides of the hills where it's washing off, coming down. I've moved over just a little bit on the same side of the creek that I was at, and I just want to show something where part of the breach came from. If you'll look here, you can see this is the same creek. You can see where the water's clear up to a point, and it gets to where you see this black sheeting that they put down, and you can see all the silt that's basically been flowing off of this thing. And this looks like it hadn't been too long since they put this down. So what they've done is, if you notice, now look at these walls. This is a hole that was apparently washed away from the water. It's on this side, it's kind of halfway put up there. On the other side, it looked like it was up there at one time, and you can see where it's come off on this side. All this dirt here has washed away. That is probably 2 or 3 truckloads of dirt easily. And then just going on down here, you can see where it breached through the hole. Okay, now I'm gonna go back up here. And this is their retention pond, and I'm sure at some point in time they're going to put a concrete wall there like you're supposed to have, but they don't have that yet. And you know, you can see all the mud that's washed down into, if you look on the far side, you can see all the mud that's washed down into this. from the hills coming off on the far side. And anyway, this is their nice little earthen dam that they built onto the other side. Unfortunately, they didn't have anything on this side, or if they did, it breached. Anyway, it's starting to rain. I'm going to head on to the other side now, and let's look at that creek.
Immediate breaking news, severe weather alerts, red alerts from Cobb to Cherokee, Carroll to Gwinnett, Fulton to Forsyth, and all the rest. WSB, the Pancane, 877-310-2100.
Okay, this is where I was parked here at Highway 53, just showing you some of the banks. You can see a good bit of washout over here, just where it's just eating out. And of course, that's normal for a construction site, but they've lost a bunch of dirt, and they've got little puddles and retention ponds around that are kind of like the one I just was at. But anyway, you can kind of get the gist of where all this dirt's coming from. It's massive. Now I've moved over to the bank side of the creek. Now I'm looking back over across the creek, and you can see, and I'm gonna go down the creek in just a minute, but you can kind of get an idea of where I was just a minute ago. You can see the reflection of the retention pond that has basically breached, and there's the grass that is, I guess, the dam for the retention pond. Now I'm gonna zoom in. So now I'm going, just following down the creek, trying to, yeah, there you go. And you can just see, look at the water. I mean, it's orange. Don't know how it's showing out in the video. You can see it in the orange. This is coming from that area there. There's other areas that have breaches too that I'm getting ready to get into. You can see the orange silt over here, and to the left of that there is, you can see the water is just as orange as it can be. And I don't know how far it goes back down this way. I'll walk around. Okay, and you can see this, I think maybe. This water is coming through here. It's just as orange as it was up there. And I'm sure once the water gets flowing, it'll pick up all the silt that's kind of settled down in this creek when it's between rains. But anyway, just another view of this right here. This is that little, looks like what is their dam for that creek. That could just be water backed up into it from the other creek, or it could be coming from this hill right here. But as you can see, it's just mud everywhere. Anyway, this is John Mock signing off. I'm on Dawson Forrest, and this is where the creek goes around this big hill and goes over into this area over here where it eventually crosses 53 Highway. This is an excavations truck that just pulled up and is parking. How you doing? Are you with this over here? What? Are you doing the excavation of this over here?
Why is that?
Because it's you've got a big breach over here, and it's filling up the downstream silt pond, and it's running into Lake Lanier. You're probably going to run into federal stuff. You guys need to get this fixed ASAP. Okay, I got it well documented. I'm getting ready to post it on YouTube. You can look for it. This is the silt pond on Highway 53 on one side of the highway. This is the first place that this water would retain. You can see it. And now this is Lake Lanier. Look at that. I got to go because here comes a truck coming down my way. This is a view inside of the cove on Lake Lanier at Thompson Creek. I'm not sure how it shows right now as far as the water, but it is orange, and I've got still photos from the last couple days where it was looked like orange juice. Okay, here's another view from the other side of the cove. I'm just a little bit closer. You can see how orange it is. I don't know how it's looking in this photo, but again, it's not quite as orange as it was a couple days ago, but this is probably as bad as I've seen it in the 12 years I've been here.